Conflict is not the villain, avoidance is. Let's talk about something most people secretly fear more than failure, more than rejection, more than being wrong: conflict. The moment tension enters the room, watch how energy shifts. Watch how spines stiffen, voices change, eyes avoid. Suddenly, everyone becomes a peacekeeper, but not a truth teller. Here's a psychological reality: most adults do not hate conflict, they hate what conflict threatens. Now, conflict, it threatens identity. And when someone confronts us, it pokes at the ego's favorite story: I am competent, I am kind, I did nothing wrong, I'm the victim here. And the brain, especially the amygdala, does not distinguish between a lion chasing you and someone questioning your behavior. It registers threat. Heart rate rises, cortisol releases, defenses activate, fight, flight, freeze. Now, watch what happens in everyday situations. Something occurs, there's tension, and instead of addressing it directly with the person involved, people go around it. They escalate upward, they vent sideways, they rehearse the injustice in their head, but they don't go to the source. Why? You don't want to know why? Because confrontation requires ownership. Ownership requires humility, and humility requires admitting, I may have played a part in this. And that's the part people resist. Now, psychologically, we protect our self image more than we protect the truth. The ego would rather preserve innocence than pursue understanding. So, instead of asking, what did I contribute to this? We ask, why are they reacting like that? But conflict is rarely random. Human interactions are systems. One action ripples into another. One delay creates pressure. One misstep creates frustration. And when the reaction comes, instead of tracing the ripple back to its origin, we focus on the reaction itself. That wasn't fair. They shouldn't have responded that way. They didn't have to act like that. Maybe not. But do you understand why it happened? That question is powerful. Not to blame and not to shame, but to bring awareness. Avoidance feels safer in the moment. It preserves comfort. It prevents awkwardness. It protects pride. But it also preserves ignorance. And here's the deeper truth: when people avoid confronting others, they are usually avoiding confronting themselves. You know why? Because to go back to someone and say, let's talk about what happened, or I realize I could have handled that differently, requires emotional maturity. It requires tolerating discomfort. It requires regulating your nervous system instead of outsourcing your feelings to someone else's behavior. And most people were never taught that skill. Many grow up in homes where conflict meant explosion or silence. So, as adults, they either overreact or avoid entirely. Very few learn the middle path: calm, confrontation for clarity. Healthy confrontation is not aggression, it is curiosity. It sounds like, help me understand. I see how this may have impacted you. Here's where I might have contributed. That's growth. Conflict is actually an invitation, a mirror, a diagnostic tool. It shows you where accountability is missing, where communication broke down, where ego got involved. Now, if you can't confront gently, you will be confronted harshly by consequences. If you don't resolve tension early, it calcifies into resentment. Now, if you refuse to examine your role, you repeat the pattern. And here's the irony: the very thing people avoid, confrontation, is the thing that creates psychological safety long term because clarity removes assumption, ownership removes defensiveness, and dialogue removes distortion. Conflict is not the enemy. Unexamined ego is. So the next time tension arises, instead of asking, why did they treat me like that? Ask, what part of this belongs to me? That question alone can elevate your consciousness more than 1,000 affirmations. Growth does not happen in comfort, it happens in honest conversations. Come on now, you got this.